Welcome, everyone, to week 3 of the league. And, yeah, I am not in my right mind. I am not in my right mind to be giving the report this week, but hey, we're fucking here. Mm. So, as usual, when it comes to week 2, things are still relatively obviously going to be even, but things are very symmetrical. Usually within the first 2 to 3, maybe even 4 weeks of the season. Hell, sometimes longer, but so we got 3 teams that are 2-0, I'm sorry, 6 teams that are 1-1, and 3 teams that are 0-2. The LA Finesse, the Guantanamo Gorillas, and the Long Island Rune Dogs are the only remaining undefeated teams in the fucking league. And the SC Titans Elite, the French Quarter Quailmen, and the Miami Cartel have still yet to win a game this season. I don't know what Matt's sending me right now on Sleeper. I see Dave Chappelle. That's all I see. Yeah, live shit right now. Yeah, I mean, this again, week 3 is always it always seems unimportant because it's like, yeah, everyone's still in the running and shit, but it's the last week that you play people, the other teams from your division for the next what? Fucking 2.5 months, right? Like 11 weeks or some shit. So it's very, very important to get that leg up on the rest of your division. Um, during those first three games, and the Rune Dogs have done that. The Gorillas have done that. I know I said that was kind of like surprising, but I mean I'm surprised that they are 2-0. I thought they would be 1-1 by this point, but yeah, the Finesse are 2-0, which isn't surprising, but considering you know um, Joe Ball and Cavaliers coming in hot, and the Voyagers aren't a pushover, either. The Finesse are looking great. Um, Big surprises though are the Dumpster Fire. Only 1-1, and what was it? Last year they started. Can't remember what the record was through most of the season, but I know it was a fuckload of wins and no losses, something like 7 or 8-0 or some shit. So it's pretty interesting to see them lose a fucking game so early. But let's get into the power rankings. Coming in at number 12, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's the fucking Miami Cartel, man. These guys, these motherfuckers put up 82 last week, okay, and got their ass whooped by the Mothmen. And we'll get into the Mothmen in a little bit. But, I mean, even you almost feel bad for the cartel because I mean they have played the Rune Dogs and the Mothmen in the last 2 games. The Rune Dogs put up 156. The Mothmen put up 196.8. Just missing out on that league record. I thought he was going to do it. I think we all thought the Mothmen were going to break that 200 mark, and they just fell short. And it always seems like it's always, um, you know, the old Smeagol's, the Mothmen, or the Tiger Sharks, and say the Trolls and like the Rune Dogs. All of those teams seem to they're like the only teams that seem to have those huge fucking crazy weeks where they could put up 100 and 180 plus. Whereas over in the West, it just seems like we're very consistent, and I I I find it kind of funny how how relatable it is to the NFL. and how actual divisions and shit work. It's almost like the West in our league is kind of like a mix between the NFC West and North. It's just focused on being consistent with solid defense and getting like around the 120 to 130 to 140 mark in that range, and we'll be good over time. Well, and then there's Joe Ball, who fucking knows. And then you got I'm sorry. Then you got the Central. Then you got the East. Where it's kind of like the AFC, like just like the AFC West or AFC South, and they're just putting up bonkers numbers, and just fucking no defense. It's crazy. And then you have not the Central, the South, which is kind of a mix between the two. And it's really it's just, I don't know. I thought it was fucking interesting. I don't know if anyone planned on that, but if there's like a study or some shit like that, I bet it would show that that's how things would relate in a, real time environment or whatever, to where the fucking, you know, the teams start to mold around each other to be able to beat them, you know? So all the guys in the West, they're worried about beating guys in the West, and guys in the West are like, "Hey, we got strong defense, so we got to get the games low scoring." Whereas y'all over there in the East are like, "All right, let's put up fucking 200 a week," And it's just, it is kind of cool to see how these divisions start to kind of mold over the years. But anyways, coming in at number 11, sorry for the rambling. Coming in at number 11, dropping down a spot, actually. Dropping down one spot, you got the French Quarter Quailmen. And they took a loss to the Guantanamo Gorillas last week, 132 to 107. I mean, it's weird when you say, "Hey, man, 25 points, it's not too bad in fantasy," but when you only put up 107, it's a lot worse. It's kind of like, what is the word? Compounded, expounded, whatever, exacerbated, whatever. It's made worse because they couldn't put up over 100 in say 15 or 20. If you lose 190 to 165, that's still 30 points, but you're like, well, fuck me, I would have beaten anybody else. But the Quellmen are off to an 0-2 start, and man, it's pretty much, this team has now become almost the what if. What if they did not trade Ja'Marr Chase? Where would the Quellmen have gone? Where would they be now? What would they have been doing? Would the belt have gone to, or still be in New Orleans now, had Ja'Marr Chase not forced his way out of New Orleans? And this team it's crazy how one player can really dictate a lot of shit, but man, Ja'Marr Chase was the life and blood of that team, and Quailmen they're getting plucked. But oh well. Coming in at number 10, moving up one spot over the Quailmen, you got the SC Titans Elite again, the other 0-2 team. Joe Ball not working too well this year. They have allowed 135 points, excuse me, and 115. So an average of what? 120 points a game, and something like that, right? And that is not Joe Ball. Joe Ball, yeah, it's normally under 100. It's a nasty slugfest, and I don't know. Is this the year? I can't remember the last time the Titans Elite started out 0-2, because they almost always get at least one win out of the first three, and it's usually one of the first 2 weeks. So uh, I might have to go and look at the previous leagues to look at that, but holy shit. Could this be the actual year that the Titans Elite actually fail and crumble like they should, because the team is fucking garbage? Is this the year? I guess we're gonna see. We're gonna see come interdivision matchups, interplay. I know you guys like that bullshit. Coming in at number 9, we got the Cameron Cavaliers. I almost said the other word. We got the Cameron Cavaliers. Very, very. I mean, what a fucking gritty ass team this is. And the way that this team is fighting for this new coach compared to the old coach is incredible. First game out against the Titans Elite. Again, they were warned. They pulled out a win by a field goal, 115 to 112 against the Titans Elite in week 1. Week 2, yes, they lost, but they lost to the LA Finesse, okay, a former champion, one of the top consensus top 3 teams in the league, lost by a point and a half. Basically 20 yards. Lost to the LA Finesse. And this team, it's like, yeah, they're 1-1, but man, look the fuck out. And honestly, the only reason that I actually have them down here at 9 is because of Joe Mixon. He's going to be out for the next few weeks. I don't think he's going to go on IR, but we'll see. Um, yeah, so that's the only fucking reason the Cavaliers are down here is because Joe Mixon was kind of like their fucking that was their main dude, you know. I mean, yeah, they got Metcalf, but and ETN, but outside of that, this team really doesn't have much. So like they really relied on Mixon, and to lose basically a third of your whole fucking team for a few weeks, that's the only reason I've got them down in the power rankings. However, this is still a dangerous team, so don't sleep on them. Coming in at number 8, you got the Vietnam Voyagers, and again, the only reason they're above the Cavaliers is because of the Joe Mixon injury. And then you think, oh wait, the Voyagers have a shitload of injuries. Like, yeah, but they got more depth than the Cavaliers. Voyagers coming off of a loss in Week 1 to the LFNS. Just terrible showing in Week 1, but pulled out a win against the SC Titans Elite in Week 2. Did not get Joe Balled, beat them by again I think what 26 points. So pretty solid there by the Voyagers, but again, they're still kind of just in that middling area. A lot of injuries on the team. They just gotta try and weather the storm to get everybody healthy and try and get as many wins as possible. Before then, coming in at number 7, you got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. Sizzling team from week 1. They were the darlings of week 1, putting up a fuckload of points, but then they fell right back to fucking earth when they played the Charleston Trolls last week and got beat by 30 fucking points. Now, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to lose, but again, they're not. It seems like this team is starting to kind of turn a corner, and really all it needs is its quarterback. If Anthony Richardson can actually prove that he's an NFL quarterback, and I don't mean, yeah, the motherfucker can throw for 1,000,000 yards, yeah, he can run really fast, yeah, he can, you know, I guess slide, and shit. He can make, he can make some incredible throws, every throw, but is he a good quarterback? Time will tell within these next few weeks, you know, and if he is that guy, then the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks are on the rise 100%. If he's not that guy, then the Tiger Sharks are going to be where they were last year, which is right in the fucking middle, but not enough to get in, and that's not where you want to be. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. Coming in at number 6, you got the Charleston Trolls coming off again a win against the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. They're now 1-1, looking very, very solid. With their running back core is one of the best in the league. The wide receivers have not really been doing the work for them this year, and I've kind of noticed that about every fucking team. The running backs are, I guess you'd say, pulling a lot of the load um, for these teams. Big loads, huge loads. But yeah, I mean, the Trolls, they're always a fucking tough team to beat. It was really difficult to decide the top, you know, 3 to 6 and 1 to 5 and 1 to 4. It was really difficult, but all these top six are very, very even, I think, as of now in the league. But yeah, on to number 5, we got the Midlands Mothmen. And they almost did it. They almost broke 200, and they almost beat their record. It was their own record that they were trying to break. I'm 99% sure, and again, I'm also 99% sure. I think it was 197 point something. So they were 1 point off, most likely, from breaking the league record for most points scored in a single game. But no one really cares about 197, 198, 199. We want to see someone break that 200 mark. And we all thought the Mothmen were going to do it. And they were playing the cartel, the best fucking team. Worst team in the league versus the you know a Mothman team with ridiculously high variance in their players, and that is a recipe for huge fucking games. And we had one. Unfortunately, it was not a 200-point game. I was actually rooting for the Mothman to break the fucking record. Um, excuse me, or to I don't really care about breaking the record, but break that 200 mark. I just want to see the two, you know. By the way, anyways, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Mothman team like that can do that any week, and that's why they're probably almost always randomly the most dangerous team in the league any given week. However, you just don't know what week that's going to be. And unfortunately, the Miami Cartel were dealt that, Um, and that sucks for the Miami Cartel because I think both weeks they've gone up against the highest scoring teams that week. But it wouldn't have mattered had they played anybody else because they were still 0-11 versus everybody else that week. So, yeah, Cartel need to just go ahead and get good. Coming in at number 4, dropping down. The reigning defending champion, Columbia Dumpster Fire, or the Darlington DEA agents this week, they dropped down. They fucking lost to the Long Island Rune Dogs. And I don't mean just lose. They got their shit dog fucking pounded like little bitches. I mean, the Rune Dogs came in and just shit all over Hunter's front fucking yard. And they did not pick up after themselves. And I mean, damn. I was talking about high variance teams, and the Rune Dogs are one of those teams, but for me, I feel like the Rune Dogs are like stronger than the Mothmen, as in not like stronger as in can score more points at any given time. I still think that's the Mothmen with that high variance. But I think the Rune Dogs have this capability of just constantly, consistently hitting 140 plus a game. And it feels like just like heavy hitters from the Rune Dogs. You know what I mean? Just guys coming in, and you don't know which guy is gonna be, and just fucking bam, there it is, 25 points from some fucking dude. You know, at tight end, or anybody. This team can just blow up at any second, but they're never gonna be shit. And the Rune Dogs are fucking dangerous, and um, the Dumpster Fire have their work cut out for them. This is not going to be an easy season for them. So let's fucking get it. Coming in at number 3, we got the LA Finesse. Uh, Coming off, I think it should have been a win, right? Yeah, obviously the 2-0. Yeah, coming off a win. Yeah, the 1 point win against the Cleveland. Got to drink. Every time I say Cleveland Cavaliers this year, I have to drink. That's a rule. Fucking chunks. Anyways, they beat the Cameron Cavaliers 125.84 to 124.04. So a difference of 1.8. 18 fucking yards. Basically 19 if you want to go for the win. 19 yards the Cavaliers lost by. And it's it's funny like that, the team is deep, but it just has to be utilized well, and that's something that Coach Tebow could never really get right as well. He had he had a lot of trouble getting the right guys at the right times, like sitting dudes that would go for 30 and playing guys that go for 0, that kind of bullshit. But regardless, the Finesse, former champs, just gave the belt up. They're fucking 2-0. They're not they're saying, "Hey, we haven't gone anywhere. We're right fucking here and we're still going for that belt. We want it back in Los Angeles." Coming in at number 2, you got the Guantanamo Gorillas. And this captive team is doing quite fucking well for themselves. I mean, taking out two other, teams uh, in their division and looking fucking strong while they do it. And the nasty part about this team is that even though their lead running back is going on IR in Pacheco, and they don't have the backup for him, maybe they might though in Carson Steele. His name's Carson, right? It's Carson fucking Steele. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Carson Steele. Tyjae Spears hasn't really done shit for the team this year, which I'm actually very surprised about. And you know, I mean, this team is dangerous, and it looks like Kyler Murray has kind of been, resurrected in a way this year, and I think it's because he finally has someone that can open up the fucking defense like Marvin Harrison. So again, the Gorillas are going to be tough this year. They want to get back into the states. We saw in the video that they have to win a championship to be allowed back in the U.S. And well, I don't really care if they go back. I don't give a shit. But I guess, for, sponsor purposes, we want them to go back to the U.S. because we support them. But no, fuck the Gorillas. Anyways, coming in at number 1, the Long Island fucking Rune Dogs. Yeah, and I was just talking about them. Again, this is the most consistent team. It's not the most dangerous team, but they're the most, like, almost like they're like the juggernaut. You know? Like they just fucking they're just there always, and they're gonna be doing damage to fucking everybody, and it helps that they got guys like Derrick Henry, like they got bruisers on this team, and it's the only female head coach in the league, and she's got the beefest motherfucking players. Take that information as you will, you know. But yeah, the Rune Dogs right now, man, I wouldn't want to fucking play them. Mm-mm. Hell no. They're fucking kicking ass. So yeah, let's get into the matchups fucking running late here. Let's go quick. Matchup number 1. We got the 0-2 Miami Cartel at the 1-1 Columbia Dumpster Fire. Yeah. Right now, it's 12-0. Dumpster Fire over the Miami Cartel, and again, it looks like it's going to be like, probably like a 30-point blowout against the Cartel. I think the Cartel have probably now broken the record for most first matchup of the weeks or whatever, because those are the shit matchups, and this team is just so fucking trash that no one wants to fucking tune into it. Even Dumpster Fire fans are probably like, you know what? I don't even want to watch this shit. All I want to do is wake up, look at the fucking box score, and see, 150 to 90. That's what Dumpster Fire fans want to wake up and see. They don't even want to watch this shit. They don't give a fuck. They got the belt. They're probably still fucking half drunk. But yeah, so those are the only motherfuckers that are going to turn in. Matchup number 2. You got the 0-2 French Quarter Quailmen at the 1-1 Charleston Trolls. And right now it's 4-0. Quailmen over the Trolls at the end of the first. 2 safeties. Yeah, very rare. But it does happen in the league sometimes. But the Charleston Trolls, again, they just have the firepower. I think they were just a little bit slow coming out of the gates there in the first quarter. I think they're going to come out and they should, I don't want to say dominate, but handily beat the Quailmen. I would say probably like 123 to like 110 or something like that. I think that's what the score is going to be for this one. So just a couple of touchdowns there. But you can never count the Quailmen out. You can't count anybody out in this league. Except the Cartel. Anyways, matchup number 3. We got the Vietnam Voyagers at 1-1 at the Cameron. I got it. Cameron Cavaliers also at 1-1. This game has not kicked off yet. It does kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? It's not 12, right? Yeah, Eastern Standard Time, midnight my time, so in about an hour and 10 minutes for kickoff here. This matchup should be, it's kind of looking the same for the Trolls in the last game. The Voyagers should win this by about, again, 2 touchdowns, but again, projection points are horseshit. And especially with, excuse me, when it comes to, say, kickers and IDPs, all of those guys, like the standard that they have for projections are complete bonkers, and they're just like, they're all basically the same. If you look at your defense, you'll know what I'm talking about. They all have basically the same projected fucking score every week, but if a player is in like another tier, they just have like a bump up of 2 points overall of their projected score. It's it's kind of stupid, but whatever. So yeah, you can't take projected scoring, as it is, but this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I think it's going to come down to the quarterbacks here. You got Joe Burrow for the Voyagers, and you got Justin Fields for the Cavaliers. And both have struggled this year. Both haven't looked their best, at times. And, with Justin Fields, he's only scored 10 points in back-to-back games, whereas Joe Burrow, again, he has that high fucking variance so far. First game, 7 points. Second game, 16. And even 16 is not even that fucking good. So it's kind of like, hey, excuse me, where is Joey Burrow? But they're planning on them playing Washington, who has the worst secondary in the league. So, yeah, if whoever wins that matchup, I think, should win this game, and this is a very important game because both of these teams are 1-1. All of the 1-1 games this week are very important because the difference between 2-1 and 1-2, well, it's one game, but the difference is fucking important. Okay, you really don't want to be 1-2 in your division because that gives you 33% less of a chance to win your division or get into the playoffs. So you definitely want to start out at least 66% win percentage in the first 3 games. Coming up, matchup number 4, we got the SC Titans Elite 0-2 at the excuse me 2-0 LA Finesse. Normally this is always like a really fun game every week. And it's not going to change this week. I think, again, Joe Ball is going to come into play. The Finesse are going to downplay to their opponents like they always do. The Finesse never fucking destroy motherfuckers. They always got to stay within like 10 or 12. So I think the Titans Elite have a very, very solid chance of winning this game. And again, it has not kicked off yet. It'll kick off with the other 1 o'clock games. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling upset here. I don't know why. It's Joe. It's Joe. If you're going to call an upset on anybody anytime, it's got to be Joe, right? But we'll see. We'll see what the predictor picked. Let's get up to the next matchup, a.k.a. the rivalry game of the week. You got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks at 1-1 at the 2-0 Guantanamo Gorillas. And Guantanamo is 2-0. I mean, if there's any way to light a fire under your player, under your coaches, all those motherfuckers, I guess it's to put them in fucking Guantanamo, put them in a monkey mask, put a gun to their head and say, hey, you can't leave until you win a championship. And now they're 2-0. So these motherfuckers either really want to win a championship this year or they just really want to get the fuck out of Guantanamo. And it would be actually fucking hilarious if the Guantanamo Gorillas did win the championship this year and then they went to the U.S. and that would be their curse forever. They would have to decide, what do you do? Do you stay and live in shit and win championships? Or do you live in freedom land and no championships? I think that'll be the something to watch for this team, but we'll see. But I think they're going to be in Guantanamo for quite a long time. But yeah, this rivalry, we don't got to explain it anymore, do we? We know how far this goes back. This is bad blood. Bad blood. They hate each other. They might actually kill each other at the fucking game. I hope that's on fucking screen. But, we'll catch that on like ESPN 5 or something. Let's get on to the game of the week. You got the Midlands Mothmen at 1-1, surprisingly, against the 2-0 Long Island Roondogs. And again, there was no official game of the week, so I just made it myself. And yeah, this is the fucking game of the week. If you disagree, you can go fuck yourself. The funny thing about this matchup, though, it's projected. It hasn't kicked off yet, but the Mothmen have a 15-point line right now, favored line over the Roondogs, who are at home. So I don't know. If I was you, I'd be putting money on the Roondogs for this one. They've just been too good and too consistent, but who knows? Mothmen just put up 196. So when you put up 196, what do you do the next game? You're trying to put up 197. So this is going to be a good fucking matchup, and I can't fucking wait. Let's get on to the predictions. Last week, Graydon went 6-0. Holy shit! Cheers. First person to ever go undefeated in a predictions video. Perfect score, 6-0. Graydon fucking did it last week, and he is now honorary. He's taken over Tebow's job, basically, for no pay. This shit's free. But yeah, Graydon went 6-0. Picked them all fucking perfect last week. Fantastic. I was a little worried about a couple of them, but man, yeah. I mean, hey, 6-0. What can you say? So now we're 10-2 overall, and the only 2 losses are my fault. So now I feel like shit, you know. And the crazy thing is, we've never been 10-2 before, because we've never had like a start of 5-1, 5-1. So this is the best percentage we've ever had, ever. I think is 83%. I wish Graydon had gone first, so then we could have had 100% for at least 1 week. But next year, all right. But yeah, Matt had the picks this week while he was trapped down there in Guantanamo, and he picked the Columbia Dumpster Fire to beat the Cartel in a small, I guess it's a rivalry game only because they hate each other. Otherwise, I mean, the Cartel are getting shit on. But yeah, that's an easy pick. He's got the Trolls over the Quailmen, which, of course, I think any sane man would probably make that bet. The Quailmen are reeling. The Trolls are definitely a top 6 team this year, for sure. A playoff team. He's got the Cavaliers over the Voyagers. Now, that's interesting. Is that an upset? Is that an upset alert? I would say so. Maybe that's my hubris coming through, but I mean, for the Cavaliers to start out 2-1 in the West in their first ever season, and their only loss is by less than fucking 2 points, that's fucking incredible. You know, so I would still put this as an upset, because this is the final litmus test to where this Cavaliers team fits in the West. Can they keep up with these brutal fucking games that we got out here in the West? And we'll see. But hey, your boy down in Guantanamo picked the Cavaliers over the Voyagers, so we'll see. He's got the Finesse over the Titans Elite. You never know with these 2 guys, but yeah, you're most likely, everyone always bets against Joe, and Joe fucking comes out on top. So who fucking knows? But in the rivalry game of the week, he's got his own Guantanamo Gorillas over the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks in what should be a very, very good game. If the Mothmen and Long Island Rune Dogs didn't exist, this would probably be the game of the week. But the Mothmen and Rune Dogs do exist, so they got the game of the week, and they've got the Mothmen taking down the Rune Dogs, which I would say is a fucking upset as well. Just at this point in the season, a tiny upset. It wouldn't surprise anybody, but it would, it would raise a couple eyebrows. Let's get on to golf. P-Man, yeah, went fucking ham last week, so he's all... I'm gonna die. He's all the way up to 6 under. Chunks is at 3 under, which is fucking holy shit. I mean, this was Tebow's team last year. Tebow was always in the bottom 4 all fucking year, and Chunks has got him at 3 under par. So it looks like this new coaching regime, this new atmosphere and locale is really, really helping this team coagulate as a unit. Mandy and Matt snuggling up together at 2 under par. Hunter at 1 under. We got Dan, Rico, and Graydon tied for 6th at even. And then you got me, E-Man, Joe, and Sam. So 3 of the 4 NFC. 3 of the 4 West squads in the bottom 4. I don't know if that shows you how tough this fucking division is, or just how much we actually suck. So we'll see. But yeah, those are the golfs. Let's get into the fucking outro. We got to get out of here. I've been here for way too fucking long. Yeah, good luck, everybody. Yeah, that's all I got to say.